Here's what I've found as a leader. I found that every kind of personality can succeed. You know, even our programmers, Lawrence, at Empower Network, we hired the guy. You remember Royce? He was there at the event. Okay, great programmer. He's going to be doing coding. He's setting up server infrastructure stuff and all this crazy stuff. So, like, if half the country gets sunken under the ocean, our site's back up in 5 minutes, you know, stuff like that, right? You know, redundancy systems and all this, you know, emergency planning systems and coding systems to where we can have 100 people working on the site. He's a smart guy, right? But he's sitting in the room. You know, he told me he's been around network marketers before. I mean, anybody over 40 has had at least 50 people come up and say you keep your options open. But he says, you know what's different about you guys? He says, you guys got the charismatic personalities, like you and Dave, but you've also got these guys that just would never make any money at all in normal network marketing, that just sit there and be quiet all the time. And just, you know, they're like logical thinkers. And that doesn't make sense to me. Right? Well, here's why. Here's why. Guys, let me describe to you how to succeed massively and unbelievably by learning how to trust in a group. And here's what I'm going to tell you. No matter what these flippin' gurus say, you will always, always, always be able to accomplish more together, staying unified, than you could on your own. Empower Network will get 100,000 times bigger if everybody on here makes a decision to stay unified. Now, there's stuff we can do outside the unity without interfering with it, okay? Without interfering with the unity of the message. There's stuff we're not going to interfere with side stuff that's going on, and we're not going to interfere. I'm just telling you, if you want to get the biggest results, and I'm about to explain why, unity is more powerful than being a singularity, right? Now, singularity is not the right term because it's talking about like a black hole, but you know, being single is not as powerful as being in a relationship when you're working together, right? And I'm about to explain why, and you guys will accomplish 10 times more, 10 times bigger, unified with us here than you ever will on your own, and it ain't because you ain't talented enough to do it on your own. Let me explain why. Marketing personalities, right? Lawrence, you know we got personality. Right? Different personalities. Now, on this live stream, everybody here's got a personality. Now, there's 4 main personalities. There's 4 main personalities, right? And there's 16 main sub-personalities with human beings, and then there's hundreds and thousands of sub-personalities. Now, I actually fit into an especially weird one, right? Right, Lawrence, you ever, before you were married, you ever go on any of those dating sites, just, you know, looking around as a single?
No, I did. I married my high school sweetheart, so no.
Oh, you did? Okay. So I didn't marry my high school sweetheart because I met my wife when I was like, you know, 6 years ago or something like that, right? Randomly, and then we've been married for 5 years, right? So we just had our anniversary last week, right? She bought me this sweet thing that's like $3,000 or $4,000. This bad. I mean, this cost more than we used to make in 2 months. This thing, and it's badass. It's got like diamonds in it. So I was like, I don't wear diamonds around my neck. I think that's very. I don't like wearing rings. Neither of us wear rings because we both think they're. For whatever reason, I've always put them on. And I've been like, I want this thing off my hand. You know what I mean? But whatever. It's just a weird thing. So, anyways. You know, we've been married, you know, for a long time. You've been married. We've all got different skills. We've all got different backgrounds. Now, I fit in one of these things. I go on this dating site, and it has you fill out, what's the one? I think it's like Match or something. It has you fill out. Yeah. Because I was like 24 or something, and I hadn't had a girlfriend in a few months or whatever. And I was like, you know, I'm like 24, and I'm not dating anybody serious. I'm going to go online, right? So I go on this site, and they have a personality test. And I just answer honestly, because I'm honest all the time. And then I get to the end of the test, and they say, we're sorry, you fall into a statistical anomaly where we can't match you with any known personality. And I was like, okay, I'm screwed, right? I mean, I just, you know, so I'm an anomalous personality, right? It's one of the reasons why I can produce really weird results in certain areas is because my personality ain't normal. But it's a hard-coded, part genetic, part philosophical, part how I was brought, part the questions I've asked my whole life, my experiences thing. It's a unique person, right? All of us here are unique, but we all fall into 4 main categories and 16 subcategories. Now I'm going to talk about the 4 main categories because they've been used all through history to describe different people, and because if you're in one of these categories, you're going to be better at a particular marketing than other kind, you know, than if you were in a different category. All right. So, and I'll talk about marketing. Let's talk about marketing personalities and why you can't be as successful on your own as you can with a team. See, some of these guys online, they say, well, you know, I wouldn't do those network marketing things because they don't show you how to run a real business like me, who does everything on my own. Well, it doesn't matter if you do everything on your own because you can't do as good what Lawrence Tam can do. You can't do as good as what I can do in certain areas, and I can't do as good as what you can do in certain areas. So why don't we put the good together? You know what I'm saying? So marketing personalities, what do we got? Well, you got up here, you know, you got a personality, right, that I've heard it called, I think Danny Johnson calls it a Ruby, right, which is like the aggressive personality, the aggressive person, right, the person who likes boxing and fighting and is a little ADD and is there to accomplish stuff. They're motivated differently than the other personalities. They want different stuff. Now, it's a generalization, folks. Not everybody fits in boxes. You guys could go read any personality book that you want, but you got this personality, right? Now, here's what you also got. You got the social personality, right? The pure social personalities, guys. Pure social personalities. They are motivated entirely by people and fun, right? And they don't like to be put in a box either. You tell them they're in this little thing, and they say, I'm not in a box. Now, if you're social, you're not in a box. Don't worry about it. I'm just using a way to describe your amazingness. Okay, that's all I'm doing is just what I'm doing is describing your amazing personality to all the other personalities that understand why you're so fun all the time, right? You're the most fun people in the world. Now these people over here are driven more by goals than anybody in the world, right? Just as a generalization, they're driven by accomplishment, and they're driven by goals, and they're driven by achievement, and they're driven by competition, and they're driven by what the other people are doing, and they want to do better. And if Lawrence Tam did that, I'm going to do this. Right? If Dave Wood does it, I'll do twice that much. You know what I'm saying? They're driven by goals. This person is driven by fun. And if they're accomplishing goals but ain't having fun, they quit. Yeah. And if this person's having fun but they're not accomplishing goals, they quit. This person could be having fun and not making any money and they stay in. This person won't stay in unless they're achieving. Right? Generalizations. Right? But there's 4 main generalizations for society. And then who you got? Well, who you got is you got the nice people. The salt of the earth people. Right? And who's the salt of the earth people? They're the people who are driven and motivated primarily by helping other people. That's who they are, right? Now, I'm going to tell you something, guys. Those of you who are here, you're the most amazing people ever. They will stay in a business the longest, right, out of any personality type, if you respect them, right, and don't talk down to them, and if you show them how they can help people, they'll stay in. They'll stop picking up calls if they think it'll help people, only. Yeah. That's the only way they'll do it, right? And the truth is, guys, those of you who are here you want so desperately to coach everybody in your team, you'll help them by not doing that, and I'll explain why as we move along. But these people are the best at keeping people connected. You get out of business with this person, and they're sending you a Christmas card every year. Yeah. My mom's like this. My mom's a pure this, right? Now, she didn't like it because they don't like being put in boxes especially. Right? Because I don't want to be in a box, I just want to help everybody. Right? It's not a box, guys. It's a way of expressing who you are so other people understand that they're different. Best listeners in the world. You get a person who listens all the time, and talk as little as possible, and no matter what you say, they're interested in you and they love you. They're the nice people of the world, right? The nice people, the salt of the earth. And then you got the logic thinkers. The logic thinkers, right? The logic thinkers. Now, these people, a pure logic thinker, doesn't make sense to the rest of us. It's actually the smallest personality segment, and they're the only personality that thinks everybody generally should be exactly like them and questions them and thinks they're kind of dumb when they're not like them. Right? Now, I'll tell you, they're the hardest people to convince because hype turns them off, right? Hype turns everybody else on. Everybody loves hype, but these guys. And they say, stop with the hype. You know, think about it for a second. Let me calculate in my brain, you know. And they actually, like a normal person, they do make decisions unconsciously, and then they logically justify them, but their logic is way better and actually logical than everybody else's, right? But these people, they're the hardest people to recruit, but when they get in, they'll make a plan and they won't deviate, and they'll work consistently on a schedule and be on time, and they go crazy when the meetings start 5 minutes late sometimes, right? And you gotta explain to them why to be emotionally expressive if they're doing what we're doing sometimes. You gotta say, hey, you gotta smile and move your cheek out like 2 inches this way when you're talking, or people don't want to listen to you, and your income will go down by 4.5%. Right? Like a robot. But they're motivated by logic. Okay, they're motivated by logic. Okay. Now here, why am I explaining this? Now there's a lot of sub-personalities here. Okay, a lot of sub-personalities here. But let me just explain why I taught that to you. Because those personalities will market successfully in different ways, right? And if they don't have a way where they can succeed being who they are, right, they'll get frustrated, they'll quit. Doesn't matter who they are. And the ones that'll take the longest to quit are the logic people and the salt of the earth people. These guys will stay in because they love you. These guys will stay in because they got a plan and they just haven't figured out how to make it work yet, right? Now, Lawrence, you kind of are like, this cross section here, more motivated though by logic and helping people.
Yeah.
Right. Lawrence is a loyal people. In fact, we had the situation where you were loyal to two groups, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think my personality. I know what you want to do, but you weren't willing to do what you wanted to do. You remember that? Because he wants to help everybody.
I did. I honestly did.
You don't want to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? No, you're loyal, man. You got a heart for his team. I don't know anybody who loves their team more than you, right? Well, there's some people who maybe are pure this, but you're also a little bit of a logic guy. So the logic eventually convinces you to do what's best, makes sense for your family, and the fact that you love your family a little bit more and you love business, and so you're going to do what's best for your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the point is, guys, is people are motivated differently, and they got different personalities, right? Now, what happens when you take a logic guy, a pure logic guy, and you try to get him to be successful through making charismatic sales videos and blogging?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happens is they pay for outsources in India to write crappy articles, right? They follow the SEO strategy you give them exactly to the T, right? And for whatever reason, they just can't figure out the formula to make money like that crazy guy, right? Who are the most successful? Now, I'm not talking successful for traffic. I'm talking successful for money. Who are the most successful bloggers in our niche?
Just off-the-wall personalities.
They're the people who are the aggressive, social, mixed people. Right? Who comes to mind? Justin Berengia.
Yeah.
Right? What's he?
Yeah,
this. Right? He makes a lot of money blogging. Who else comes to mind? Well, Paul Hutchings. Now, Paul is almost all Ruby. Right? He's almost all this aggressive type personality, goal-driven. Right? Who else comes to mind? Toby and Layla, where are they? Right? Who else comes to mind where I'm not talking they make money from blogging. I'm talking it's abnormal how much money they make with the little work that they do. Well, Chris Daugherty.
Yeah.
Where's he?
Yeah.
People can't even figure out what he's doing. He makes tons of money. You know what I mean? They're like, what? How much money are you making? And he's like, I can't even explain it because I don't count. I can't count it all.
I can't count.
Right? Where's he? He's here. Right? Now, there's people who are cross-sections between, and everyone can succeed with blogging. But these people have this ability to have abnormal results through blogging. Why? Because they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're entertaining. Who's the most charismatic speakers in the world? They're the people that are social, or they're people that are the aggressive people. They are the most interesting to listen to on stage, right? The nice people of the world, like John M. Rose. Yeah, John M. Rose is like here. I can't get him to stop picking up the phone. You know what I mean? He just won't stop. He loves it, right? He loves helping people. He doesn't want to tell people, his friends, what he does for a living because he loves helping them. He doesn't want to offend them. He doesn't want them to think that he's approaching about something, and he's shy. He's like pure this. He loves helping people, and he's a loyalist to the bone. I love that kid. You know what I'm saying? But you try to get him to get on stage, and you blow him out, right? You blow him out of the water. You try to get this logical person to be forced into sitting there and trying to be creative and entertaining. Yeah. And they say, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just show me the facts.
Just show me the facts.
Now, so who's good at what? Right? Who's good at what? Well, here's what happens. These people here that are pure here are going to be the most aggressive people in your group, right? They'll work the hardest and also for the shortest time because they burn out, right? The fastest, right? And you got to rebalance them all the time, and you got to really edify and stroke their ego. Why? Because it's important to them that you do. And if you don't do it, they won't stay around you if you don't lift them up and edify them. I'll give you an example. Matt Ziden, one of the most badass people I ever met in my damn life. He's won every contest he's tried to win. This latest one, he ain't even trying. And he might come in the very last second and just win, right? I have no clue if he'll do it, right? He told me, he says, Dave, I'm sick of winning all this stuff. I'll just sit around and collect my check. And I was like, okay, do what you want to do, bro. I love you. I think he's badass. And he's a little rough, isn't he? Sometimes. Because he says exactly what he wants to say, doesn't he?
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. And it doesn't matter if he gets in a fist fight at midnight. He'll get in a fist fight and say what he wants to say, right? And, we've had people who've said, Dave, you can't, you got to watch that. And I say, that man deserves to be where he's at. He's awesome, and I love him. You know what I mean? I appreciate him. Why? Because that's who he is. I love who he is, right? You know what I'm saying? You try to get a social person to be pure aggressive, they're going to get all stressed out. They say, let's just have some fun. You know what I'm saying? You got to let people be who they are. These people down here, they'll create the most connected groups and keep in touch with everyone and send people Christmas presents and think about everyone, right? And they'll develop leaders from fewer numbers of people than any other personality. This person are the market geniuses with numbers. You ever see somebody doing a presentation where they're showing you how to calculate the numbers out? You know what I mean? And it actually makes sense and you can't refute their math? Like Dagan?
Yeah.
You see Dagan? Right? My point is, okay, who's the richest guy I ever met in Amway? This. He recruited 40 people and has like 5 million people in his team. Right?
Jeez. Yeah.
Right? Now that's not true all the time, right? Who's a successful person down in the logical quadrant? Well, there's lots of them. The point is, though, guys, is let's say you're a logical person only, right? And let's be honest, only. And if you smile, it's because you have to, because you know it's logical. You're Spock, right? You only smile when it's logical, only when it makes sense to do, right? And let's say you're trying to do what I can do, you're trying to do what Toby and Layla can do, you're trying to do what Lawrence can do, right? But you're good at only this. What happens is you make less money, you're more frustrated, you have less of a life, and you can't ever do it as big. Because you're always more powerful unified than you are by yourself, right? And just remember this as we march into the future and stay connected as a team. Always want to stay connected with the team, and I always want to lift up the new people, right? What was half our conversation about? It's how do we get the new people out in front of people who are succeeding, the new success? How do we get them out, recognize them, make sure we've done it systemically, make sure we don't play favorites, right? Sometimes it seems people say, Dave, you play favorites. Nobody actually accuses me of that, but sometimes people think it, you know. I've seen little discussions and things like this, and the only reason sometimes we've done that is because I'm disorganized, right? So I think of a live stream, and I invite the 5 people that come to my brain. That's what I do, right? We talk about Lawrence a lot, not because he's a favorite. By the way, you are one of my favorites. But not because you're a favorite, right? We talk about him because he follows the system. Mm-hmm. Because he follows the system, I can afford to put my people around him, right? Now what happens, here, think about this for a second, guys. Let's talk about philosophies here on who we really got to edify. Who are we really going to edify? Who are we going to edify? Guess who I can afford to send my people around? Guess who? Now I'm talking as a leader, not as the owner of a company. Right? I'm talking as a leader like you who's built teams. Mm-hmm. Who can I put my people around? A, the person who's in the hot new thing of the month. Mm. Right? Well, I can't put my people around that guy, and I can't talk about him too much. I'm going to talk about him a little, but not too much, because I put my people around him, they get distracted, they stop having success.
Yeah.
Right? Well, who can't I put my people around? Well, that person is going to be a huge distraction. Right? The person who just entirely is absorbed into doing their own thing all the time. Why can't we put our people around that? Now, it's okay for people to do their own thing, but I'm talking, guys, I'm talking community, culture, and edification for everybody here, not just for the people at the top. Why is it hard to send people to that person, right? Well, we're all following a system and saying one thing, and then this person's saying, no, let me tell you the true thing, right? So guess what happens is when we edify that person too much, your people and my people and people way down start going and following this person. This person ain't following the system, right? And they get distracted by this person who most of the time is having less success than the person following the system. And most of the time their team is having more success than the people following the system. So I send my people around this person. They get distracted. They stop working. They stop following the 8 core things. They stop blogging. They stop talking about 2 people a day. And then they start talking about something else every day. And then what happens is their team starts getting distracted and it replicates down to the organization, right? So I can't talk about this person too much either, right? Guess who we can talk about the most? Now, we'll talk about everybody who's having success and edify everybody who's having success. People have success who do their own thing. It's fine. But guess who we're going to talk about the most? It's the people who repeat the message that works, that we're following together as a community, because that is what keeps people together, and it is more powerful to be unified than it is to be right. We're not hopping on the latest launch of the month. Now, guys, I'll tell you, there's some opportunities to make a lot of money at owning Empower Network from launches. Why? We got the biggest buyers group on the internet.
Yeah.
You don't think I could go make $100,000 in a month, right? Participating in a launch and having all the affiliate cookies go to me, right? I do that tomorrow on it doesn't matter if they're selling pantyhose, all boom, right? Now here's one. But here's the thing, guys, right? I ain't gonna do that because it distracts your people, and then when your people get distracted and you get distracted, you stop having as much success. We stay together a little bit less. You get more distracted by more voices. right? And our community splits in different directions. Why is that different than other things that are going on? Well, I'll tell you guys, I was involved in something I actually still get a check from for years, right? And I promoted it, and every almost week there was a new launch. Now, guess who loves that? The gurus love it because they have something to sell their shit to, right?
Yeah.
Don't they, Lawrence?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who does it piss off, Lawrence? Did it ever piss you off?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's a lot of distractions.
It's constant. Every week there's a new strategy. Guys, there ain't that many strategies. You know what I'm saying? There's a few, there's like 8 main ones, 3 of those that are the main ones, you know what I mean? There's not too many strategies, that you need to launch a new thing every week, right? Make a lot of money as the guru, but guess what you do? You drive your leaders away, right? Why? Because you're trying to keep your team focused so they'll have success. And then everybody's coming in saying, join this, join this, right, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy me too, let me get on a webinar and sell my stuff. Now, we all love that. If you've ever sold on a webinar before, you love it. But guess who doesn't love it? It's your people who keeps getting stocked up, burning out their credit cards, buying stuff, hoping to learn the secret, right? And all there is a never-ending next launch to buy, right? And I'll tell you guys, we'll tell you to buy with no compunction here at Empower Network, but all our products have a separate specific purpose, and if we find a new purpose, we'll make a product with that purpose. Let me tell you the purpose of the Empower Network products real quick. There's a purpose of each individual product, okay? Now, the product only has that purpose. It doesn't have any other purpose but that one purpose. Sometimes it goes outside it a little bit, but it stays within a specific focused purpose, okay? Each one of our products stays within a purpose, okay? You guys ready for it? Ready, Lawrence? Okay. Now, I haven't talked about this, I don't think, ever. We should talk about this.
We should talk about it.
Product 1, $25 a month. That's if you're not in and you hit the buy button, you're buying the $25 a month product. It's $25 every month, not once. $25 a month, right? We'll probably have an annual option or something like that here close in the future. People have been asking for it because some people prefer it. Hold on, let me grab some water. Or I'm going to get, lose my voice when I say this. Okay, $25 a month. What's the purpose of that? You need a blog. Some people say it's better to set your own blog up with your own design, with your own capture pages and your own sales funnels, selling your own products and your own upsells with your own coaching business and your own company with 40 employees and your own server bills and your own 18 hours a day that goes into creating a products, and let's do everything ourselves and let's try to fill every personality ourselves because it's better, right? No, it's not better. Are you kidding me? Lawrence has been able to make more money than me from an Empower Network since it started. I think he's actually made about as much as I've made that he's actually taken out. I've made way more as an affiliate, right? But a lot of that money has gone back in, and I've made that as an affiliate because I've brought in more people, right? That's it. He could have out-earned me year 1. He could have. Now, maybe he'll do it year 2, and I'd be right, and then he'd be in the videos. I'll tell you, I ain't got an ego about it, right? He'd be the one. Right? He'd be the one I'd be putting out in front of everybody because I want him to succeed. I ain't got a trip about myself, right? Now, here's the thing, okay? So what's the purpose of that first product? You need a blog, and no, it does not need to be designed by yourself because probably you don't know what you're doing, like that dumb lady who seems to be making a lot of money from her blog, but she's making $638 a month. Maybe you should follow her, listen to her, and do half as good as she does and make $324 a month. And then you'll be happy being branded, okay? Guys, I had a lot of branded broke people in my team for a long time before I realized it was horse shit, that the brand isn't important. What's important is the result, and when you got a result, you don't need a brand because, as Tony Rush says, the brand is automatic because it comes from the results, right? So that $25 a month gets you a money-making blog. A blog that is specifically designed by people who make money blogging. A blog that has capture pages that actually get people to put their email address in when you get traffic to it. A blog that's on a PR4 domain, okay, that gets 1 million visitors a day, that we're dramatically improving over the next several months. I'm not going to talk about that because it's so sexy, it's unbelievable. I mean, you get a boner thinking about how cool it is. If you don't even have a penis, you still get a boner. It's so bad.
Oh, jeez.
Now that blog, $25 a month, okay, it converts better than my personal blog that I pay $350 a month in hosting for, that's going up all the time because I'm always having server problems on it, okay? It's more of a money maker than my personal blog because it's got a better sales funnel that converts higher. Okay, it gets more traffic than my personal blog that I pay $350 a month for, right? It has a better infrastructure on it and loads faster. It takes less time to set it up. You can actually get started today and start blogging, and we're improving it all the time, and we're always looking for new ways to test the conversions on that blog. That blog there is more designed, optimized, and tweaked for making money than any blog on the internet, because it's built by people who make money specifically blogging, which is not everyone, and almost nobody knows how to do it properly. It comes with a funnel that's pre-designed to optimize your conversions, make you money, capture leads that you can use to sell anything, and to get you results in your business by people who actually know how to produce results. Okay, you can write about anything you want. Your content ain't going to be taken down and slapped like it are on some of the article directories. We're not going to tell you to stop unless you're literally doing something illegal, and then we'll usually just put your post in a draft and say, you know, we did get a takedown notice for this post. You know, you might want to change this, take the copyrighted image out so somebody doesn't try to sue you. You know, we'll do that, but that's what the customer service is for. It's a blog where you don't have to hire customer service, where you don't have to worry about getting a merchant account, where you don't have to worry about handling chargebacks, where you don't have to worry about having your new customers called, where you don't have to worry about creating the content, where you don't have to learn sales psychology to sell. That's what that one lady's problem is, by the way, Lawrence, is she can't sell worth shit when you look at her site. I sent that to her in an email, but I'm not sure she took that properly. Right? It's a blog where you keep commissions like the gurus do, but you don't have to be a guru. It's a blog where you can go and you can share your passions with the world, and you can do it in a community of people that respect you and care about you, and when you make the sale, you keep the money. It's a blog that, by the way, has been succeeding now for over a year straight, that has a lot more credibility than you do, where you can piggyback off the credibility of other people. It's a blog that has more people making money than any other blogging network on the entire internet, bar none, and it's a blog you can be proud to sell, and I've paid for the design on that blog now more than $10,000 for the design. We pay more than $18,000 just for the hosting on that, without including the other money that we pay for the video hosting, where we pay $250,000 a month in overhead for customer service to make sure your people are taken care of, that we've paid $80,000 in the last year to make sure that lawyers have put proper disclosures. We are the only affiliate network that discloses average incomes on the internet, and I actually haven't seen another one that actually discloses the average and is proud enough about them to update them live every 24-hour period of time. We're the only people that do that. That's what you get for $25 a month. Now, if you don't think that's worth it, it's okay. You can go pay for your own thing, try to make money with your own thing, and tell us how you do. And maybe you'll succeed and nobody in your team will, and I'll give you a pat on the back and I'll say, congratulations, mister. You're making it on your own. How does it feel? Being the lone horse like I was, right? That's what you get for $25 a month. So that's the purpose of the blog, so you can just go out there, blog daily, tell others, and get money. What's the purpose of the inner circle, right? And by the way, the blog has a fast start training series that shows people how to build a culturally strong, duplicating, successful business on the internet entirely through blogging. It goes over the most important 8 steps of being successful. What's the purpose of the inner circle? The $100 a month. You say $100 a month? Oh, gosh, dang it, Dave. You know, $100 a month. Well, guys, okay? Here's the purpose of the inner circle. Most of you are busy. Lawrence, you busy still?
Always busy.
Always busy. Because if you ain't working, you're going to go do something fun. Being fun is busy too, right?
Yep.
I was busy at Universal Studios last weekend, right?
How was it?
It was a lot of fun. I liked the Spider-Man ride and Harry Potter ride the best. Although the Simpsons ride was the first one I went on that did that 3D nonsense, and that thing just tripped me out. I was about ready to throw up and pee my pants at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I was like I was not expecting that. My wife was about tripped out too. Long story with that. But if you ain't been on that thing, go on the Simpsons one first because it is weird. But anyway, so what's the purpose of the inner circle? Okay. Well, guys, you know, I've been sold audio courses for years, and I got taught by somebody who made a lot more money than me a long time ago that I should take my downtime and I should listen to audio, right? In my downtime, that if I did that straight, if I spent my time driving back and forth to work, that in a 4 to 8 year period of time, I would get what's equivalent to a specific university education in whatever I was listening to. Okay? Now, that may or may not be true, and I actually listened to more than an hour a day for years. Okay? For years. I listened to more than an hour a day of different new stuff from people who are more successful than me, and I still do it. You can ask my wife if I do it, right? And she'll tell you I do it. Now, he told me that, and I was just one of these guys that was just ignorant enough to believe him. I said, okay, you make $500,000 a month. I don't. Tell me what to do. Okay? Started doing it. Now, how much did I pay for that, right? Well, I've bought Tony Robbins courses for $100 and $200 and more. I bought NLP courses for upwards of $2,000 and $3,000. I buy new audio stuff constantly because I'm constantly running out of audio to listen to. I buy old Amway tapes, right? I'm constantly searching for new audio stuff to listen to because I can listen to it when I ain't doing nothing, right? If I'm in a car, I can learn to close better. I've been to Danny Johnson conferences. She has got, she had great audios. I listen to all her audios, right? And her audios, I think, by themselves were like $1,500 or $2,000 for all her stuff that I bought. I bought everything she's got, right? I've bought out-of-date old stuff. I've bought all Randy Gage's audio stuff, right? I've listened to a combined total of tens of thousands of hours of audio training over the years, and it is responsible for all the weird stuff that I know, all the unique stuff that I know that makes me almost all of my money. Guys, technical strategy does not make you most of your money because you can pay for technical people that are more talented than you when you got the money. The money is made by the vision, the leadership, the influence, the ability to move people, right? That's what you learn from audio. Yep. So we said, why don't we just create a system to where people could pay for one thing and they don't need all this outside stuff, and they can have all the audios that they could ever listen to and more, and let's just update it all the time with new stuff, and let's not even sell it to them. Let's give it to them for the steal of $100 a month. I've paid way more than $100 a month for the last 10 years straight for audios. Okay, way more. Now, you guys get that for $100 a month, and our shit is better and works better and is more fresh than the stuff that I listened to that kept me wandering around in shopping malls for years, right? It's better. Right, Lawrence, how much you made, by the way, selling that thing? I don't know how much you've made from the
I'm close to 200,000, I think.
200,000 from one product, right?
One product.
So the inner circle is our downtime education formula that keeps your team plugged in. If you get your team on the inner circle, you'll never have to motivate them to do anything because they'll be motivated internally by driving around and listening to audios all the time. Yeah. What's the purpose of the Now, some people get mixed up because we've had 2 Costa Rica seminars, okay? And one of them was recent, one of them was a few years ago. I'm going to talk about the difference between the two, but first let me talk about the first one. That first seminar you went to, how much did people pay to go? Now, you were a trainer, so you didn't pay. You flew down.
I think it was like $3 or $4 grand or something like that.
Yeah, it was $3 grand, right? Or $3,500 if they didn't order after the first 3 or something like that. But it was now that thing, I did talk about things nobody ever talked about in that course, right? Yeah. Now that was made. Sometimes people say, well, your stuff only helps people sell in Power Network. Not true. All our stuff's generic, right? That product, that original one, right? Nobody complained. Did anybody complain about paying $3,000? Right? Nobody complained. Nobody whined. Nobody asked for a refund. Nobody charged back. Right? All of them said it was the best thing that they've ever been to. Right? Now, here's the thing, though, that's really powerful about that course specifically. That course was before in Power Network, and it has the background information and principle structure, structure of what created the most successful affiliate company ever. Yeah. Because it was made right before we launched, right, Lawrence?
Yep. Yeah.
You want to know where I started working with Dave Sharp?
Right there.
Right there. That product. Right? You see, Dave. The first time I ever heard Dave speak was Video 5 in that product. Right? Yeah. When did we really take our vision, and when did we mastermind Lawrence, and when you understood what you needed to do to make money after that product? It was just a matter of implementing it, right?
Yeah.
After you went there, I saw it in his eyes, guys. He came down discouraged. He left. He knew he was going to be able to do it, but he still didn't have the infrastructure to do it till we started in Power Network. Right? Yeah. Now, that was $3,000 for those people. You guys get to sit there, watch it as many times as you want. The people who went to the course had to pay for it. Yeah. Lawrence, let me ask you a question. Wait, I think you got that one for – did we give you that one for free, or did you pay for it?
Yeah, I came in.
Yeah, that one he got for free because he trained in a product, right? Because if somebody trains, now if we already created it and they already bought it and then we're redoing it, it's different, right?
Yeah.
But in that product, right, you were one of the trainers, but you still paid for the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a student of learning, because if you're not learning, you're not growing, you're sinking. So
you still pay for the inner circle?
Of course.
He's one of our top guys. You still pay for the blog?
Yeah, of course.
You still pay for the affiliate fee?
Yeah.
Now we come out with new stuff. He buys it, right? He actually comes up. He says, "Dave, can I buy it like a month in advance? I just want to get this now." Now here's the thing, guys. He paid for everything, but he didn't pay for that because he actually trained in that product. But the people paid $3,000. That's the background information that created in Power Network, okay, which did $20.4 million in first year, and everybody who's actually been through that raves about it. It's $500. You're stealing it for 500.
Yeah.
Actually, you wanted the truth, Lawrence. When we made the 15K formula 1,000, I actually wanted to make the Costa Rica 1,000. You remember that?
Yeah, we were discussing about that. Yeah.
But people said, Dave, it's worth way more than 1,000. But we have all these videos on the internet where we're talking about it being only 500. So, and they're stealing it for 500. We don't want to change 8,000 videos. Let's just like leave it at 500. So I said, yeah, that makes sense. That's why we don't change. That's why we're not changing the price of the 25 all the time. Because I've been in things where they change the price all the time, not thinking about the fact that there's 8 zillion affiliates with their own videos selling it. And now, and I was in a thing, Lawrence, where they changed the price to get in. And they changed the monthly fee, and I didn't change my videos for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't change it for 2 years, guys. Guys, why didn't I change it? I didn't change it because it took me 18 hours to make those videos or more, and I didn't want to go back through because I was busy making money. So I had this automatic email that went out. People would say, Dave, the price is increased. And I'd say, you better buy it quick because the price is going to go up again. Right? so I didn't change the videos. So we don't, I said, yeah, I remember that. I remember being an affiliate and what it's like. So we'll leave the price there, right? So what we did is they said, that 15K formula product is worth way more than any, it's the traffic product that changes track. So let's talk about the difference. So the Costa Rica Intensive is the background information of how to build a very high level business and how to make money fast that you need if you want to do things at a high level and understand them, and there's a difference. Some people do things at a high level, they don't understand them, folks. They don't know why. Now, I'm not talking about a high level like $500,000 a month. I'm talking about a high level like $30,000 a month and how to actually do it and how to ramp it up quickly, the concepts that drive it, and that is the birth of Empower. I think it's actually one of the most important things for everybody to go through. Don't just buy it and go through it. Right? Yeah. It's got some amazing videos in there, some amazing breakthrough concepts in there. It's entertaining and fun to watch, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I think it's hilarious. I think Dave Sharp's video 5 is worth the whole thing just to see that. You remember the looks on people's faces when he was giving that speech he gave in video 5, Lawrence?
Yeah,
you remember that?
I didn't expect that.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that either. I about crap my pants. I was dying laughing watching these people face, listening to Dave Sharp share the 2 secrets of how to be successful online, and I was just about ready to die about had a heart attack, right? But that's Dave Sharp, and you guys just got to see what we're talking about. You got to watch video 5. I mean, that's worth 500 just to see video 5. But don't watch it with your kids around.
Yeah.
Little raw. So anyway, so we got that. So that's the purpose of the product. What's the purpose of the 15K formula? What's the purpose of it? Okay, the purpose is to teach you specifics. Okay, that's the purpose. To teach you specifics and concepts of how to drive traffic and create $15,000 a month of income sustainably. Right? A lot of people say, well, how do I place a solo ad? And they go out and they buy 1 million courses and they wonder what the authority is. Well, we got one of the best solo ad experts in the world who's actually doing webinar 2 of our solo ad part. We're actually redoing that product right now because some parts of it got a little outdated. Right? And we got one of the best solo ad guys in the world doing what? Just his webinars are worth more than 1,000, guys. He charges people damn $25,000 just to hang out and say hello to them. You know what I'm saying? That's what he actually said. He said, first time I met him, he says, Dave, I'll tell you what, for $25,000 you can be my pal. He was kidding, because I was making a lot of money, but I almost just wanted to send him $25,000. No, he's a traffic guy, right? And who are we going to have training? The guys who are actually doing the strategies, right? So he's training on solo ads. We had Chris Record train on how to get Did you watch Chris Record stuff, man?
Not yet.
Oh God, dude!
Everyone talks about his speed blogging.
You got to watch that just because you don't like taking a lot of time. Right? Yeah. To do stuff. Dude, he said that thing and I got a boner and farted at the same time. I was so excited. But the thing is that that webinar, guys, can you still hear me, Lawrence? I'm frozen.
You're good.
That webinar, guys, is worth at least 1,000. Yeah. Every webinar of the new 15K formula, people have said each webinar is worth 1,000. Right? Each webinar. We start off by talking about being clear and having clarity and how to do that specifically. Not ambiguous, you got to get clear and set goals, but specifically, here's how to set goals and get clear. This is the structure of how to do it to make money. Okay? Then we went to webinar 2 on speed blogging because we realized most of our people are part-time. Chris Record's been working 18 hours a day and blogging at night. He doesn't do any paid ads, Lawrence.
I know, that's crazy.
And this month he's I believe, over 30,000 now. He's over 28,000, I know for sure. I believe he's over 30. He's been making $3,000 to $4,000 a day for the last 2 weeks straight, right?
That's all.
part-time in the evening with an hour or so a night, and he lays it all out in those strategies. Because he's like, Dave, I don't do paid ads. I'm actually excited to learn because I don't know how to do it. So he did a webinar on blogging and a webinar on traffic. We had Rob Ford do a webinar on SEO. Why? Because he gets more traffic from SEO than anybody, right? He gets more traffic from SEO than me, so who am I going to have do the webinar on SEO? Me or Rob Ford? Well, definitely not me, right? Rob Ford. It's one of the things about bringing the people up, bring the leaders up, right? Now, what are we going to go to next? Well, that's a mystery. Now, we've covered actually in the last 15K, but we're redoing it to be more structured to make more sense. We're covering traffic and tactical concepts, strategies, and skills to get leads to your business, to any business, and how to make money with those leads. Is that product worth $1,000, Lawrence? They're stealing.
Oh, of course. It's called the 15K. It should probably cost 15K.
I think we should redo the cost of 15K. Guys, if you don't got it, by the way, guys, if you guys have it, you can actually sit in on the webinars of the redo, right, which we're doing right now. Buy it. If you don't got it, log in and buy it. By the way, you do that now if you're in, right, just hit the button and log in. Maybe do that in a new window while we continue on. Click on the webinar for the 15K and buy it. By the way, guys, if there's any product you haven't bought, just buy it. If you haven't bought the Costa Rica Intensive, just log in, click Costa Rica Intensive, just buy the Costa Rica Intensive. If you don't have the blog, what are you doing? Are you trying to do what we're doing on your own? I mean, I can't do what Lawrence Tam does. I can't wait to have Lawrence Tam in the 15K. Why? Because I can't, dude, Lawrence, you've been around me to know that it's not an act. I'm really disorganized, aren't I? I show up to everything late, right?
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, I can't do what you do, brother. I can't do what Shakira does. I can't do what Chris Record does. Now, I could do certain aspects of what they do, but here's what I know, that by being a team, guys, by being a team and having a dream together, there's room in that for all of us to accomplish our dreams, because there ain't no greed at the top in Empower Network. Yeah. We tell you to get, sometimes people say, if there's no greed, why don't you tell me to get all in? Why don't you spend hours and hours teaching me? Here's why. Because I did that for a long time, and what results did it produce, Lawrence?
Oh, man.
I made a lot of money. And my team was frustrated because I was teaching them everything for free, so they didn't take it as seriously as when they paid. True. They couldn't make commissions from the information because they couldn't just turn around and sell it, and they couldn't sell as good as I could sell, right? Yeah. And the Lone Ranger who could spend 18 hours a day learning it and putting it together and couldn't do it part-time without quitting his job. So I had a lot of people quit their job and starve for 3 months to start making money. Well, if you got a family, guys, you know, look, I respect the fact that some of you guys got families and jobs. Chris Record, he has a job. I say, he says, Dave, you probably think I'm crazy, dude. I was like, I don't think you're crazy, dude. You got kids, right? And he's like, yeah. And I said, look, when you got kids, you got different concerns than people who don't have kids. Not everybody could go live in their parents' house like I did and sit online for 3 months making 18 hours a day of videos and writing articles and prospecting and listening to audios and making their own audio training and doing their own calls and webinars like I did. Not everybody can do it, right? I did it because I could do it at the time, right? Not everybody can do it. So we work together as a team, guys, as a team together. This is a key message going into 2013. Staying together, not getting distracted. Look, guys, here, I just went through my blog. I took off as much as I could find them, every affiliate link that I could find. I'm just being honest with you. Now, if I find more affiliate links, I'm going to take those off. I'll dig through all my stuff. Now, why'd I do that? Now, this is me. Now, guys, I ain't saying you to do this. Why'd I do this? It's because I found that every affiliate thing I promote, it creates exponential distraction. Okay, it's like network marketing. Okay, you got 5 who get 5 who get 5 who get 5. Now, let's talk about exponential distraction here for a second. You've got your list, okay, and you're trying to say this is the message. So you say, but also you need these 5 things, right? So they send them to 5 affiliate products who've all got their lists that they send to 5 affiliate products, who've all got their lists that they send to 5 affiliate products. And before you know it, you're getting emails from 18,000 people. You start a new inbox, and you stop paying attention to what makes you money. So you know what I did? I went through and I deleted everything. And if somebody's going to get mad about it, they can go eat it. Because I want to help my people make money, and you won't hear nothing come from my mouth that's going to get you distracted. Look, if we're sending you to buy something, it's going to be something that either you can make money on from commissions, or it's going to teach you how to make money through Empower Network, or it's going to teach you how to be more successful in your business, or it's going to be a tool or a resource that doesn't create exponential distraction that we control, because I don't want you on a million people's list with a million voices, because I know that it's a distraction, right? It hurts you. Now, it might not hurt you because you might be like me. Maybe you work as much as you need to work to get it done, right? Maybe you do. But for your poor team who you're sending all over the planet, right? Guess who gets hurt? Them. Because they buy the next thing and they buy the next thing and they never learn how to use the first thing, and they get to this thing and they say, should I focus on that thing or should I focus on this thing? What should I focus on? You say, no, focus on this. They say, well, why'd you sell me this? Because I'm part-time. Right, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, you just get stuck just trying to learn everything.
Yeah, guys, look, here's the way you learn. When you're new, you do need to watch some videos and stuff. So you watch videos as you're blogging, right? Is what you do, right? You put it there and you blog, right? When you're new, you need to listen to audio. Now, I still need to listen to audios because I stop being motivated if I don't, and I get discouraged, right? Because I'm a human being who needs motivation. Look, sometimes people say, Dave, I don't need that motivational stuff because, I just need to know the strategy. If you're saying that, you need extra motivation because you don't know how to motivate your team and because you got a bad philosophy, folks. Look, this is how it actually works. Let me actually explain the secrets of this business. You get somebody started, and here's what the business is to them 90% of the time. It's a Tony Robbins course. Now, this is not a knock towards Tony Robbins. I've listened to as much of his stuff as I could get my hands on. Okay, I love his stuff. It's not a knock towards him. It's a Tony Robbins course. Now, what do most people do who buy a Tony Robbins course off TV? What do most of them do? They order it. They forget they ordered it. Right? They put it on their closet, and it sits there in their closet, right? Is what it does. And then 4 years later, they look at it and they say, damn it, as they see their pile of unopened courses, right?
Yeah.
That's what the business is to most people when they hit buy now. Now, that's not criticizing their decision to buy because it's the best thing they could ever do. I believe in it. And if they never do a thing with it, I'm still proud of the fact that they bought it, right?
Okay.
I'm proud of what they got, right? Because they got the chance to get what they want if they just apply it. So in Power Network, first of all, it's got to become something real to them. For them to ever even do anything with it at all, it's got to be real. Maybe they believe it. Maybe they're part of that 10% that's just going to work, right? Maybe they're not. But it's the Tony Robbins course that sits on the shelf that they may or may not decide at some indefinite point in the future, if you don't get them focused, ever go through. Mm-hmm. Now, so your job is to get them in, then you've got to capture their attention with your consistent message, and you got to get them involved in stuff that's going to keep them around long enough for them to actually get to work if they're part of most of the population. Because you got the population who goes to work, right? Me? I ever get in your thing? I might buy it just to see it, but if I ever get in to do it, you better believe it's all I'm doing for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay?
Focus.
Most people aren't like that yet. They can learn, but they're not there yet. They're just looking for the secret. They just bought it. So you got to capture their attention, right, and get them involved. That's why we get them called. That's why a voice broadcast goes out. That's why the 8-core video goes right into action, right? Because they got to start getting involved once you get them in. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, here's what happens. They're motivated, discouraged, motivated, discouraged, motivated, discouraged, motivated, discouraged, right? Lawrence, you ever get discouraged? Honestly? You're a human being, God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's a Christian what happens to a Christian if they stop going to church? They get discouraged, don't they?
Yeah, you gotta go back.
You got to keep coming back. You got to go back to the family. What happens if you stop being around people you love? You get disconnected, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, you people, guys, come on, right? So that's why we have a weekly call. It's something you can come back to every week and get involved with. Why? Because we need it. Yeah. Look, guys, I'm not saying you need it and I'm the guru. I'm on the calls.
Yeah.
If something happens and I'm on a plane and Dave Sharp's doing a call, first thing I download next day, and I say, man, that's a great product. I say, man, that's a great community. You know what I'm saying? I get pumped up, man. I got to. I want to hear Tracy's story. I want to hear Lawrence's story. I want to hear Justin's story. I want to hear Alex and Erica's story. I need it. I'm a human being, guys. We all need motivation. Don't be some dork who says you don't need motivation, right? So you gotta keep them around long enough for them to pay attention for most of the people in your team. Why? Because if you don't, they quit and they don't succeed ever. And if you keep them around, a high percentage of people who stay around succeed in this. And it would blow your mind the percentage. I'm actually getting some statistical things calculated to actually calculate the exact percentage. What I want to know is not the average income. That's bullshit, folks. It's counting the people who just joined. It's counting the people who are customers. It's counting the people who bought it for a month and quit. It's counting everybody. I want to know the average income of somebody who's bought all our products like we teach, not because they have to, but because we teach it and actually done it. I want to know the average incomes of the people that have done that, been to every event, and been in for 6 months straight. I want to know their average incomes. I tell you, the average incomes ain't some bullshit of 90% failing. That's horseshit.
It's going to be high.
It's going to be really high in Empower Network.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to my brother the other day, and one of my other brothers. One of my brothers been in since about when we launched. Another one of them just got in, okay? And he called me the other day. He says, Dave, what's the chance of a new person succeeding? He was one of these guys that wandered around in Walmart with me, right? And I said, you want to know the truth, brother? I said, yeah. I said, it would be impossible for a person, truthfully, to do even what we did and wander around without making money here.
Yeah.
They just couldn't do it. Now, we're not telling people to wander around. It's just that this is so much easier. I said, I gave him an example of somebody who's struggled, right, and is still making $2,500 to $3,500 a month, and they're like, man, I'm just struggling, and they did a lot wrong, and they've corrected it, and they're staying in the game, but they're struggling, Lawrence, making $2,000 or $3,000 a month. They feel like they're struggling, and I'll tell you, you don't see that in any other company ever, do you?
Yeah.
Right? That's what we got here. So that's the purpose of the 15K. The purpose of the 15K formula specifically is traffic and tactical stuff to get you to $15,000 a month, to help you sustain your business, to help you keep it going. There's a difference between building and keeping it going, isn't it? Hey, Lawrence, you ever been in a network marketing deal where you made a bunch of money and it dropped off?
Yes.
Right? You ever been in a deal where you like started to succeed and then you stopped doing what you originally were doing and then for whatever reason your income went down?
Yeah.
And you say, wait, what's going on? So there's a difference between building it and keeping it together.
Yeah.
So we teach you the tactical stuff of how to do that. It's all important. Now, what's the purpose of the master's course? Well, here's the purpose, and then I'm going to get into the vision of 2013 because it just took a little bit of background and pumping you up here to get this going, right? And everybody here, you should buy everything. You go in your back office, you buy everything. I think you buy all our products, right? Just don't be a wussy, buy everything, right? Right? But get in, at least get in, no matter what, just get in, and we're gonna love you here, right? We might, do some things that rub you a little bit sometimes, but we're doing that because it jacks you up. Because when you get pushed and you get pressured just a little bit, some people say you can't pressure people. Bullshit, guys. If people ain't under pressure, there ain't no diamonds that are created without pressure. Yeah, pressure. Right? And if it ain't pressure from somebody, it's social pressure, it's pressure from your family, it's pressure from being a failure. It's pressure creates diamonds, folks. Pressure creates diamonds. So don't give us this horse shit from failures who never made any money anymore. You know what I'm saying? Money doesn't buy me happiness, right? Who says that? People who ain't got no money. Because if they had money, they'd know they'd be happier with it. I'm just being real. Lawrence, are you happier now that you got more money and more free time?
I am happier.
Hey, your face looks younger, man. We were commenting on how gorgeous you look here at our last event.
Not no bags. I'm sleeping more than 5 hours a night now.
Oh, that was great, isn't it? I mean, you start making money, you do get happier. Who gives this crap? I mean, the people who don't make money. Because it's true, if you're not happy in the first place, probably not going to be happy with money.
Yeah.
Right? But you know the thing? Let's not give this broke bull crap in our groups, guys. You know what I'm saying? This broke bull crap. Why do I call it broke bull crap? What else is it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we watch TV, and who's evil in Superman? It's Lex Luthor, the guy with all the money. Who's righteous? Who's righteous and happy? It's the poor guy who spends all his time helping everybody, being poor and working as a lowly news reporter. He's the hero. And who's the evil guy? It's the guy with money. Is that not a social meme? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Oh, what a bunch of crap and bullshit, guys. I mean, let's just call it like it is. So what's the purpose of the master's course? How to tie the higher level stuff together. How to get unstuck. Everybody gets stuck, guys. Lawrence, you ever been stuck making no money?
Stuck for a long time, many different levels.
You get stuck at $2,500 a month. You get stuck at $10,000 a month. You get stuck at $20,000 a month. You get stuck at $50,000. You get stuck at $100,000 a month. Stuck is stuck no matter where you're stuck. So what that product is all about is higher level conceptual strategies to go from where you are to where you want to be in any business, and how to get yourself unstuck when you get stuck, how to go from unstuck from making no money to making $10,000 a month if you're stuck at making no money. Now, if you're doing that here at Empower Honestly, it's because something's probably wrong internally that you just need to fix. It might take you a little bit to fix it, but you just need to fix it, right? But how to get unstuck and move from where you are to where you want to be in marketing. It is was that powerful to that
It was
product?
powerful, man. I learned a lot. I mean,
You did. Well, we were talking about duplication without your life sucking, and you were like I kept looking over. You're like, damn it, right? High level breakthrough. So it's a higher level strategic vision product. Okay, that applies to any business. Now you could take that information to another company. You could do it there. You could do it here at Empower. Right? All our stuff can be applied anywhere. It's why we can earn commissions from it. It's generic. That's our stuff. Right? Now we're getting together in Austin. And if you're serious, and if you want to do this, you'll be there, right?
yeah,
You're going to be there, right, Lawrence?
of course.
You wouldn't miss one.
Wouldn't miss it.
You were at our first event.
Very first? Yeah.
You were at the first event before there was an event. The pre-event with you were at the Costa Rica event, and then you were at the pre-launch event, and then you were at our first event that we did publicly. Yeah. And that event changed your business, didn't it? What happened to your check after that event?
It went ridiculous. It started adding commas to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without any more work, right?
Yeah.
And you got to see the culture. See, people see the Empower Network, right, and they say, oh, it's just this internet thing. Then they come to our events, they say, these guys understand people.
Yeah.
You know, some of the old schoolers have said that to us. You have any old schoolers in your group where they think, oh, these guys are just selling these people on the internet, and then they come to our events and they're like, these guys understand culture.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They're like, you mean I can make money, have a life, do no three-way calls, and have culture?
Yeah.
You know? Really? And I'm like, yeah, dude, we figured it out. You know what I'm saying? We're making it better all the time. Guys, this is unbelievable what we got. They come here and they say, what? So our next event, now our first event had 1,300. Our second event had a little under 3,000. Right? Our next event will have 3,700, but we're on track to hit that now at least. We might even figure out a way to fit 4,000 in the room if we can. But we'll get as many people in there as we can, right? So we go from thing to thing to thing, and they keep getting bigger. People keep coming back. Hey, let me ask you a question, Lawrence. You've been to a lot of events, haven't you?
A lot of events.
Where are the funnest events that you've ever been to, truthfully?
Oh, man. It's I don't know the last time I've been to an event where the high-end earners and the owners come out with flip-flops and like tank tops. I mean, that's just
And the mask thing we did, you know, with the Guy Fawkes. I mean, who wears Guy Fawkes masks at their public event, you know?
Yeah, it's just a different thing, you know. You feel more comfortable. It's not so uptight, and you hear successful stories.
Come as you are. You know, now there's a couple things that you want to watch a little. You know what I'm saying? Like if you smell a little or something, keep in mind there's a lot of people in the room. You know, so there's stuff we got to respect. You know, I mention that because sometimes people are like, oh, Dave, you don't like wearing deodorant? You know, okay, well, I'm not wearing deodorant, and sit next to 18 people. You know what I mean? And then the chairs start scooting, right? So but there's we'll just laugh about it. We'll think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? But guys, the thing is about our events, we party, right? We have parties at our events. You know what I'm saying? We actually have fun. We teach, but you know how you go to most events? What's the message? Work to death, right? Isn't it? Guys, here's the message: work to death. You know, work harder, right? Isn't it? It's like you got the guys on stage with a whip, whipping everybody in the audience into shape, you know, to go work to death. Well, and our message is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
You come to our events, I tell you to not pick up the phone, didn't I?
Yeah.
I
mean, can you imagine you telling people, hey, I need you to open your house up for 5 parties a week?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, we've all done that stuff, and you know it works, right? Now, who can knock that stuff works? Yeah, you've made money doing it, haven't you?
Yeah, but then you start to hate it because
you forget your dreams.
You dream, yeah. That's not.
Yeah, you forget about them because you're too busy convincing other people that you've got a dream on the phone, right? Yeah. You're talking about it. You ever been on one of those calls where you're talking about the dream and the person's listening, and you're just like, I'm so full of shit. You ever been there?
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? It's like, moving. Hey, let's be real, guys. I mean, who talks like this? Nobody, you know. But the thing is, guys, if you're serious and if you love your family, you'll be at our next event. Just if you're at Empower Network. Now, the vision is sometimes the vision is this. Okay, we've got Empower Network in the States. Okay, so we've got a lot of people in Empower Network all over the world. So we've got in the States, we've got this next one will have 4,000. The goal is to go from 3,700 to 5,000 in the next one. All right, and then go to at least 7,500. The goal is to have 15,000 people in a room by the end of 2013. Now, you sat in our event planning session. You know we can do it, right?
Yeah, I think we can do it.
We can do it for sure. Now, 15,000 people in our event won't be like nothing you guys will ever see in your life. I'm telling you, it'll be the most off the chain. We're coming out with ways for you guys to make more money. We're coming out with ways for your guys' life to be easier. We're coming out with ways to make marketing materials better, to treat the leaders better, because I know how I want to be treated, but I realize I don't know how everybody wants to be treated. We want to make that better, create more of a community. We want to create things that are going to continue to propel people on as we go to 2013. We want to have 15,000 people room end of 2013, have 30 people who've earned $1 million in 12 months. Now, we can do that. If you guys unify, you get all in with the message, you follow the 8 core steps, you got to get your butt to Austin. Now, don't make excuses, folks. Lawrence, you ever made an excuse for an event but then said, I'm going to go anywhere, and it had it change your life?
Man, if I wanted to change my life and participate in my own success, you get into an event. That's where the magic happens.
It's where the magic happens. It's where the magic happens. Guys, you got to get to Austin. You got to get to Austin. The ticket prices, by the way, are actually going up to that because it's expensive. We spent about $500,000 on our last event. This one, it's going to be around there. We've become a little bit more efficient. But, guys, you got to go. Guys, you got to go to the event. You got to get your butt to the event, guys. You got to go. And you got to get your team to that event, right? Now, Lawrence, you saw our first event. What happened? There's people who had big teams there that were unified, right? Mm-hmm. What happened to their checks?
Skyrocketed.
Outgrew everybody else's checks by 2.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're focused and because they've got the same message, right? Mm-hmm. Get there and get your team there, guys. And don't make excuses about why you can't go. Let me give you an example of some events that had they not happened, right? None of this would be here, okay? First of all, guys, I'm going to tell you something. When I've been building a network marketing team, I've never missed an event since I've been involved in network marketing. With one exception, and that event cost me a year, okay? It cost me a year. The people who go to Austin will be a year ahead of people who don't. And I'm just going to teach you guys some secrets here for a second. I'm going to teach you that's where the vision is going to be laid out. You need to get you need to get it there, but not only that, you need to get all in and you need to get there. You need to get there, you need to get all in, and you need to be a part of what we're doing, part of that vision. You need to be part of the Sunday night session we're doing there. You need to be all in when you get there. Get all in, folks. Just buy all the products. You don't got something, we'll go in and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Just get it. Right? You need to be all in. You need to be dedicated with us, okay? And we're going to teach you some stuff that'll blow your mind out there at that event. We'll teach you guys this NDA, and we say that all the time. And gosh, don't we keep delivering, man? I mean, we just keep saying this. It's like people are like, that's hype, but then they go and they're like, oh, it's real. it's like hype and real. You know what I mean? And we're not pitching everything under the sun. The purpose isn't to lock you in a corner until you buy. You know what I mean? You're just there to learn how to take things to a new level, how to take your game, your culture, your team to a new level. You're there to learn. You're there to absorb the success of the room. You're there to create marketing material. Where a better place to create marketing material than the biggest internet marketing event ever in the history of internet marketing events? We're better to create marketing material than with the richest people in Empower Networks. People say, Dave, I need to focus on marketing over the weekend. I need to focus. I've heard people say that and say, first of all, you're going to be a year behind. Second of all, you're going to miss out on all the most badass marketing material you could. You know what are the best videos I've ever created, Lawrence? Events. Everybody needs to bring a camera there to that event, and you just need to go and not make excuses. But let me give you some examples of some events. I went to every Amway event they had when I was in Amway. Joined another company, went to every event. Joined another company, I failed, but I went to every event. Learned some stuff at each event. I got on the internet, went to every internet event, right? Went to every internet event, right? Spoke at some events. But I went to every event regardless of whether or not it was even helping me. I went to the event. Some events, they actually didn't help. I'd go and my team would quit because they were boring events, right? I go and the team would quit. They were a lot more expensive than our events were too, because people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to run events. They don't know what the purpose of the event is. They don't know how critical the event is. They don't know the culture and the psychology. What did we do to plan this next event? We flew some of our top earners and paid for their first-class airfare, paid for all their meals, drove them around in limos and Hummer limos to brainstorm the event, because we know that the more relaxed and rested they are, the better they're treated, the more clear their mind is, the more willing they're going to be able to share from their hearts, the better their attitude, their psychology is going to be to create a powerful event. So this next event doesn't come from Dave sharpened my mind. It comes from our leaders' minds, and there's a difference. There'll never be anything like it. You need to get your butt there, honestly, just to see it, because there's going to be some crazy-ass stuff at that event. Best production you've ever seen, a lot of best that you've ever seen, but not just that. We're going to show you how to take your game to the next level. You get to meet with your teams. We've got time scheduled for that. We've got awards scheduled for that. We've got everything scheduled. You just need to get your butt there and get all in before you're there. You need to get there, and you need to focus. And here's what I'm encouraging everybody to do. To go through your email inbox. And here's what I encourage you to unsubscribe from. Everything but whoever is your sponsor in Empower Networks list, as long as they're focused, you know what I'm saying? Empower Network stuff, and whoever's in your team stuff. So in your Tracy Walker's team, you'd be subscribed to her list and pay attention to every email. You're in Lawrence's team, you better listen to every email he sends. Why? Because he's your leader, guys. Because he's got the life that you want. You need to focus on that. I'll tell you who to unsubscribe from. Everybody else. And I'd go through and I'd hit unsubscribe, 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 get a new email inbox if you need to, if the spam keeps coming, and focus on the people that are there to help you. Why is that different? Well, because here's why. Let me explain the difference in the emails, right? Where does my success come from at this level? I could sell more stuff, you know what I mean, which I will, right? But that comes from there. But where's it going to come from? You succeeding more. Mm-hmm. When do I usually send stuff out? Last minute. Who does that drive crazy? Virtually everybody, but I keep doing it. Why? Because I'm spacey, right? Drives Lawrence crazy, right? But where's my motivation coming from? To lift you up. To lift you up to the next level. That's where my next level is by lifting you up to the next level. Where's the motivation for affiliate JVs come from? It's a cross hand job from all the JV partners. I mean, it's all good and all good. I love these guys and all. You know, I give them a pat on the back too. You know, give them a reach around sometimes. No, I was kidding. But you know, the truth is what's it there for? It's to cross promote and cross promote and cross promote and cross promote. Where's the motivation here? It's to take you and lift you up. So, what's motivated out of a better heart? Honestly, my success comes from lifting you up, and their success comes from selling something new all the time. If you've been on my list, Lawrence, how many things have I promoted in the last year? Now, there's been one or two of them that have popped up, and I've regretted each one, and I've vowed to never do it again. But how many things? Can you remember how many things?
You're pretty focused. Yeah.
Isn't it one thing all the time? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm still saying the damn thing I was saying when we launched. Get to a day and follow the 8 core steps.
Yeah.
Right? Has that changed in a year?
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing. The people that have stayed focused with me on the message for a year, their incomes have doubled and tripled and tripled again.
Yeah.
Right? The people that are all over the place, their incomes are like this, and they're constantly needing to replace it. Because they might understand selling, but they don't understand culture, and there's a difference. My message is it's the same. I mean, I'm always selling Empower Network for the front end 25. All the time. It never deviates. I'm always saying bring in 2 people a day, 2 customers a day, 2 customers a day, 2 customers a day. And I'm always saying follow the 8 core steps. And I'm always saying get all in, buy everything, right?
Yep.
That same message has taken us to 20 million in sales our first year that keep increasing. We've gone from 1.4 million our launch month to 5 million a month in 13 months. And what's going to happen is we're going to go from 5 million a month to 25 million a month this year. And how are we going to do it? By lifting you up. And who should you be paying attention to? But to people who lift you up. Who should you be focused on? You should be focused on the voices, the people that are there to lift you up towards your success. Who should you pay attention to? You should pay attention to the people that have gotten the results you want to get. You realize most of the people you guys listen to in your emails don't even have the results you want to get. They don't even know how to sell anymore. They haven't sold in years. I got an email from another guy the other day who hadn't sold in years trying to do some new guru thing. And I'm like, dude, you've just been sitting on the top of a mountain for years. I don't even want to know what you know anymore. You don't sell stuff, right? And if your people are selling stuff, why not bring them out and just shut your mouth a little bit? Some of the smartest marketers out there, they shut their mouth more in their products, right, once they get on for a while, right? But who is out there who's got the results that you want? I'll tell you, it's your leader, right? You're in team. You're in Fresh Records team. You better read every email and look at every text message you get, right? You're in Lawrence's team. You better read every email you get. Because I'll tell you who Lawrence is going to help. It's going to be his team who's at the event. Mm-hmm. And if they don't go to the event, they say, I can't, my toenail hurt that weekend, I can't go. he's going to say, okay, well, I can't help you. I love helping people. I'm sorry. Love my family more. So who's he going to help? He's going to help the people that go, who follow the system, who stay consistent. Who am I going to pay attention to? The people who are all over the place or the people that are focused? The people who are focused, folks. The people who are focused. Because the people who focus, their checks go up. That's what gets me up. That's what gives my family to the next level. That's why they focus. That's why they move on in life. It's because they stay focused on a single focused message like a laser, and they don't deviate from it. You say, hey, here's the difference, right? Now, Lawrence, there's a difference with you too. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you something about Lawrence Tam. Every time we've gotten on the phone, now you've struggled with it sometimes, but if I've told you needed to do something and I've been direct with you, how many times have you done it?
You have to. I mean,
every time, haven't you?
Got to.
So now here's the thing. So here he is, $500,000 last year. So who am I going to pay attention to? The guy who made $500,000 doing what I teach? Now you even got distracted there for a little bit, and then you came back. You're like, oh God, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm talking about that, but you come back, you focus, and your check just keeps going up, right? So you have a choice. I pay attention to Lawrence, or the guy who's all over the place and never listens to nothing, right? They never listen to anything. And you say, why? They say, Dave, I need coaching. You need coaching to listen to an audio every day? You need coaching to write a blog post every day that you don't write? You need coaching to show up at the next event you're not at? You need coaching to get all in when we say it on every conference call? You need coaching to be on the Monday Get Call? So what do you want me to do? Pop on the phone and say, let me explain why you're not getting results. It's because you're not focused on 2 a day, because you're all over the place, because you're not following the 8 core steps, because you're not on the Monday night calls, and because you're not listening to audio every day, and because you're not all in. Mm-hmm. Can we just keep it simple? So let's skip the call. See, here's what coaching is good for. Let's take coaching and let's tell you what coaching is actually good for. You didn't say, Dave, what's coaching good for? Well, if you want somebody to focus you, you can go get a life coach. Fine, I ain't going to do that for you because it's a low-paying job. I'm just being real, right? The life coaching is low-paying, tedious work. I ain't going to do it, right? I don't want you to do it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to lead by example. Now, I'm not insulting high-level, high-paid, super high-paid coaching. Okay, that's something worth some money. Still a job because you got to show up to get paid. Whatever, it's higher paid job, right? But here's the thing, and I want to talk about this here for a second. What's coaching useful for? Steering a moving ship, right? It's pretty easy to take somebody making $10,000 a month and to tweak it making 20. But it's impossible taking a person doing nothing to say, okay, let me get on a call because here's what's going to happen. I know because I've done it. I'm going to pop on a call and say, okay, what'd you do? And they're going to be all over the place and not really know, first of all. And I say, what's your goals? And they're not really going to know their goals because they haven't implemented the first webinar of the 15K. And if they did watch it, they didn't implement it, so they're not going to know what they want. I'm going to say, okay, what are you doing? And they're going to be all over the place again, right? And here's what it boils down to. They're not all in. They're not on the Monday calls. They're not following the 8 steps focused. You got to focus on 2 people a day, 2 customers a day. You got to focus on that. And they're not following the 8 steps. They weren't at the last event, right? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And if you look at their work schedule, it's 4 hours of nothing for 30 minutes of work because they're sitting there all day poking around, right? Now, how could I, in a coaching call, take that person and help them be successful? I can't. My coaching's too high level. So guess what I can do? I can pop on a call with Chuck Marshall when he was making $15,000 a month, say, Chuck, tweak this and this, and you'll go over 20 this month, and he did, right? Yep. I can pop on a call with a guy making $50,000 a month and show him how to get to 100 real quickly by changing his focus, right? Yep. I can teach a guy how to upsell more of his team who's got a team. I can help a guy to lead his team. I can help a person who's doing what I'm saying and who's working, who's really working, and they need some help just getting over that first level. And I can help that person with coaching. That's what coaching is good for, folks. It ain't good for getting a dog doesn't bark at a parked car, right? You want help? Get to the event. You want help? Follow the 8 core steps. You want help? Be on the calls. You want help? Listen to the audios every day. You want to help? Plug into the system and stop listening to naysayers and unsubscribe from these weenie-ass people's lists that are distracting you all the time with nonsense. Look, can I just be real? It's nonsense. How much bullshit have I heard over the last few years? More than you could stack into normal lifetime, okay? And I'm telling you, I was involved with companies for years where the people at the top only cared about how much money they made, right? And I ain't going to tell stories because if I told stories, everybody would know who I was talking about. I'm just being real, okay? I've been involved with stuff for years. The only thing they care about is how much money they make. Look, guys, making money's cool. But it sucks if you're lone solo. You know how much it sucks to be able to do stuff that none of your friends can do? None of them. You know what I mean? Nobody. Why am
Yeah.
I going to Columbia tomorrow? Because Justin called me and he's rich and free and he says, Dave, you want to come out and hang out in Columbia? And I said, sure. That's why. That's the extent of why. Because I got a rich pal who has money who I can go hang out with now because I got a guy who listened. Now, look, I'm not saying listen to me about everything. I ain't good at everything. Look, but if I've done something that you're struggling with and you ain't listening and you think it's because I ain't helping you, come on, folks. Get all in, focus on the 8 steps, eliminate your distractions. Unsubscribe from the list. You don't need it. You need to focus. Look, I'm gonna put something in perspective. Let's put a business model in perspective here, and then let's talk about the vision because I promised I'd get to that, and it's like 11:14 my time. Let's put some things in perspective. Now, my dad's a badass man. Respect him tremendously. Okay. Now, but let's look at specific models of business though. Okay, because it's honesty. My dad's at least as smart as I am, smarter in certain areas. At least as smart, way more educated than I am. Okay, he went to Stanford and Cornell with graduate degrees, right? Spent hundreds of thousands on additional education over the years, always reading, always listening to stuff. But he went into a profession that is highly respected, legal stuff in the public sector, right? To be a lot of lawyers make more money because they're in private work. My dad didn't like private work because he didn't like defending guilty people, right? No, seriously, that's why. So he went into public sector, right, to get less money because he did not want to defend guilty people. So he went that, became a judge, and he made a healthy 6-figure income at the end of his career. Now he's retired. He makes a good 6-figure income annually from his retirement. Respectable, tremendously respectable. Mm-hmm. Took 35 years or 30 years or so to get to a 6-figure income. Now, you can't knock that because that's the top 1% of society in the richest country in the world still. Can't knock it. You got to respect it. I respect anybody who succeeds regardless of where their background is. But from an income generation model, sometimes people here complain when they're not successful in one day. Really? You know what I'm saying? It's like, really? You ever tried to be a judge? Are you successful your first day of college? Are you successful your first day of school? Are you successful? Are you a successful pastor of a church and because you opened the Bible and read Genesis 1 and you're like, I'm not a successful pastor yet. I'm going to quit. You know what I'm saying? Only in network marketing do we get this audacity, folks. Only here. Nothing else. Lawrence, did you complain that you weren't rich yet your first day of engineering school? What about your first semester? And this is longer than people stay in network marketing. Your first semester, how much did you pay for your first semester of school? I'm curious.
12,000 a year. So it was like, yeah, around there.
And that's not including housing or including?
No, that's just tuition and just basic stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you paid $6,000 a semester, $6,000, more than getting all in, for your first semester. And you didn't complain that you weren't rich yet in your first semester. You didn't say, I've been in school for 3 months. I'm not rich yet. Did you?
No.
Okay. So 6 months of school, or 8 months, or however long it is. I can't remember because I haven't been to school in so dang long, right? But 8 months, a year of school, your first calendar year of school. He spent $12,000 on school, which is twice as much as getting all in. Twice as much. And were you complaining, I'm not making an engineering income yet. I'm not making $50,000 a year yet.
I was just scared not to get a job for not getting good grades.
That was year 1. Now, how many years you go to school? 4? Was it
4.5?
4, because it took a little extra long, right? Because you were like, oh God, you know. So you spent a total, it's 12,000 times 4, so 48,000 plus a half. So 50-something thousand just for school, not including board. Did you go to debt for that?
Go to where?
Did you go into debt for that?
Oh no, my dad took care of it.
Oh, so you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
So your dad spent the money then. Now, at the end, were you complaining? I just spent 8 hours a day for 4 years, and I'm not making $50,000 a year yet. Were you complaining?
Now it's like, hey, I'm educated. Now I can make some money.
This is 4 years, and he's not complaining. What's the difference here? Well, I'll tell you the difference here in a second. We're going to get to that. Okay, so how long did it take you to get your first job?
I was fortunate enough to actually have a job right out of college.
Okay, so how much did it pay you?
$50,500.
$50,500 a month, right? After 4 years of hard work all day and night, you're making $50,000 a month right out of school?
No, $50,500 a year.
Okay, so you spent then 50,000, or your dad did in this case. Most
Yeah.
people have to spend it on their own, and you did that for 4 years, and you weren't complaining and making 50,000 a year, were
No,
you?
I thought I was rich.
He saw you was rich, right? Now,
I thought I
how
was
long
rich.
did you keep that job forever?
No, I got laid off 1 year after that.
So you got laid off in a year. How long did it take you to find your second job?
18 months, and I couldn't get an engineering gig, so I got a designer gig, making 35,000 a year.
A designer, like graphic designer?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like you have engineers who sign off on projects, and then you have designers who build the actual SolidWorks models to.
So in other words, you couldn't get a job for 18 months doing what you were doing, so you took a lower paying
I had to
job,
take a lower end
making
position.
what?
35,000 a year.
Now you probably complained a few times through that,
yeah, I'm
right?
like,
But you weren't saying I'm not rich yet. You were saying why aren't I making 50,000 a year yet, right?
Exactly.
And you're just looking for a job to make what you were making before. So then you took a lower job,
Yeah.
and when you had that job, were you thankful?
Yeah, I had a job.
I bet you showed up early the first day and stayed
like,
late
oh,
and wore a
dressed
suit and were like, I am gonna stay here for 40 years, right? Now, do you still have that job at that? Did you have that job at that company after that, or did you get more jobs after that?
No, so after that, I got back up to about 40,000, 45,000, and then I got an offer that paid me 65,000 a year, and it was like a 30% jump, and I'm like, I'm rich, you know.
So you got up till finally. Now, how many years after school is this?
So that when I hit 60, I was about 6 years after school, 6 to 7 years after school.
6 years after school. So we're talking 50,000 in education, a year and a half of being late. Now, did you have a family when you were laid off for a year and a half?
No, but I was married, and I actually got married when I was laid off. So Jessica actually had to. She was the breadwinner. She was an accountant, and I drove her to work, and I drove her back home.
Brutal, isn't it?
So her parents are like, when are you get a job?
Yeah, I bet they were. So we're talking 6 years after school, 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And you're pumped to make 65,000 a year.
Yeah. Trying to get back to inflation, back to what I got back when I got out of college.
He's pumped, guys.
Yeah.
And some of you complain in 3 days, some of you complain in 3 months, and he's pumped in 10 years from the time he started spending 50,000. It cost 5,125 to get all in, and he's pumped after spending 51,000, not having a job for 18 months after 10 years making 65,000 a year. What's in Power Network? Okay, so we keep going forward. What's the most you ever made from that job?
I maxed out before I got laid off again at about 80.
And was that the job that you got laid off from last time in Empower? Or
yeah, April 18th.
So you had three jobs, 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. What was the total elapsed time between then and the time you got laid off? Between college and the time you got laid off.
College and time. The last time I got laid off, it was about 10 years.
So 10 years.
12 years. 12 years.
12 years to make 80,000 a year.
12 years. Yeah.
12 years to make $80,000 a year, and he's excited about that. He's as happy as a clam. He wouldn't even quit his job, guys.
No,
when he's making 50,000 a month on the side, he wouldn't quit his job because he said it was a cush job, and it was 12 years later. So let's take this now. Okay. So let's be real here. Okay, let's take pre-existing from Empower Network, all right? Because let's compare it because there was a background before you got started here, okay? Some people have done it solely here. Some people had a background. You had a little bit of a background. Not a huge successful background, though, did you?
No.
But let's just take it as comparison. Let's compare for a second what I do to compare it to what you guys have been through in your life and what Lawrence has done compared to what you've been. Let's do an honest comparison here because the problem with people who ain't succeeding is they ain't been what he's been through. Let's just be real. Okay, so you've worked with me now for 3 years, right? Before Empower Network, you're working with me, right? Listen to my calls. Now, that other stuff, it could have made you money in Empower, but it didn't because we didn't have this, right?
Yeah.
So you probably would have been you wouldn't have been at 50,000 a month right away because you had to learn some stuff, but you probably would have been at 15, 20, 25, 30,000 a month, and then you would have been way past 50 by 3 years, but it wouldn't have come all at once like it did, right? Let's just be fair. But let's take the whole thing into consideration. How much have you spent on marketing and education since you've been working with me? How much have you spent in the last 3 years? Probably, if you're going to guess.
Does that include events?
Mm-hmm.
I would say roughly 10 to 20 grand. I mean, easily.
Okay, 10 to 20 grand. Okay, so about less than half of what it took you to go to engineering, right?
Yeah.
Less time too, isn't it? It's still under 4. It's less than 4 years still, isn't it?
Yeah. It was less than 4 years.
Less time, less money. So now, how long did it take you to get to 80,000 a year on the internet?
Well, prior to Empower, I never hit it.
You never hit it. Okay, now, to be fair, right, there's 3 years of learning and struggle, but you kept going to the events, didn't you? You kept staying in. You didn't say I'm not rich yet because you've been an engineer. You've been 10 years, you're still not rich. So people are complaining I ain't rich yet, man, for a day. You know, folks, let's be real. Let's not be dork bags, you know what I'm saying? Let's not be dork bags, wimps, and wussies about life. Let's tell it for what it is. So you just kept coming. You kept coming back because I told you to just keep coming back, keep coming back, keep going to the events, keep going. You kept going, right?
Yeah.
So finally, you got the knowledge, but you don't got the opportunity.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
But 3 years, what happens? You go to an event.
Yeah.
Now you've got the knowledge. You still got the opportunity, so you go to the next event. But now we launch the opportunity. You got the knowledge, you got the opportunity. Yeah. And we've got the commitment to stay focused.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much you made in the last year?
Just with Empower?
Just everything. I mean, let's take the whole education into. You made.
In the last 12 months, it was around 800,000, I think.
Okay, so 800,000. Yeah. How many years of engineering is that?
10 years.
10 years of engineering.
Yeah.
So he's made 10 years of engineering his 3rd year working with me. Is it worth it?
I can't complain.
Was the struggle worth it?
Oh man, yeah.
Is the success worth it?
Yes.
Do I know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people around me know what they're talking about too, right? Some of them knew before, some of them had to learn here. But it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's less expensive than a college education significantly.
Yeah.
It takes way less time, okay? And you get to live wherever you want in the world and do it. Yeah. And you can have long hair and do it. And you can take off the suit and do it. And you could wear flip-flops on stage and do it. Yeah. And you can go travel to Colombia when you want and do it because you think it's the end of the world if you want. And you can make way more than that. You think you'll do better in 2013?
Yeah, I have the tools, I have the knowledge. It's just, it's just how much I want to make at this point. It's not like there's no roof like in engineering. You can work as much. I was salaried. You can work as much as you want. You're not getting more money. But now we're like, if I want to make some more, I just focus, and then it'll just grow.
That's it, brother. That's it. So here's a question for you. Now that isn't it interesting? Like what I've said has consistently been like worked now for years.
Yeah.
Now I'm not God, right, or anything. Now I don't want you guys to misinterpret me here. I just don't know everything. Okay, I don't know everything. All right. There's things I don't know a lot about. There's things I'm awful at. Right. But here's what I do know. I know Henry Ford was brought into a room when he owned Ford, and they brought him on TV because they said we think you're stupid because he didn't have an education. Yeah. Right. And he said, why do you think I'm stupid? And they said, well, answer these questions. He says, okay. And then they start asking him all these random questions about history and books and like English questions and here's like what I think he was like the richest person in the world or one of them at the time. He's like up there, before Ford was having problems, he was still alive, your richest car company in the world. And he's sitting there and these guys are asking all these questions and he cuts them off after about 15 minutes of dumbass questions. He says, you want to know why I'm smarter than you? Because you guys think I'm dumb for not knowing the answers to these questions, but you're dumb because you think that I got to know these answers because I sit in an office that has buttons on it. One of them says PhD in science, another one says PhD of engineering, another one says school teacher. And at the whim, if I want to know an answer to that question, I don't have to know because I hit the PhD of science and he comes in here and he gives the answers to people to know the answers. And I still don't remember because I'm focused on my vision and what I'm good at. I'm not focused on what you're good at because I know how to work together with teams. And that's why it's a lot more fun working with a team than it is being a lone solo asshole guru on the top of a mountain, folks. Now I live on top of a mountain, not insulting myself, but I'm here because of the people that I love, which is my team. Yeah. I'm here because of Tracy Walker. I'm here because of Chris Record. I'm here because of Chris Campbell and Jones. I'm here because of Lawrence Tam. I'm here because of Dave Sharp. I'm here because of my wife Ashley. I'm here because of you. I'm here because you're my team. I'm here because of my team, not because of myself. Okay? Because the sum total of all of us is greater than we stand alone. So 2013, we stick together. That's the plan. Now, what are we going to do? What's the plan? Here's the vision. Let's take this idea and to now say, okay, we took originally the talents of 2 people and we systematized those talents, right? And we did $20.4 million, right? Now, that's pretty good for a network marketing business, right? Herbalife's $1 billion company. They did $10 million their first year.
Yeah.
Right? Not 20. right? Now it was a little while ago or whatever, but you know, still, guys, it's pretty good. You know what I'm saying, for two scrawny looking guys on the internet. But let's take, okay, so what if we take the talents for, when I did that, you know, I'd had it for a couple $100,000 months in a row, and before that I'd been making 40,000 a month, 30,000 a month for a long time. But what if we take the talents of you guys and we create a mastermind with that and systematize that, and all you get to make more money because of it, and we take your ideas and your gifts and your skills and treat you right, and you get flown first class and get to hang out and get back massages, and they're on us, and you get to go and hang out on yachts, and you get to be a part of a mastermind, and we take your gifts and talents and skills that are all unique and different than mine, and we systematize all of it together. What can we do in 2013? Well, you're going to find out in Austin. If you go, and if you don't go, you'll regret it the rest of the year, and maybe for longer. There are people who didn't go to Austin, they regret it big time. There are people who went to Austin, they weren't planning on Empower, and now they're planning on it. Because sometimes you got a dream that encompasses more people than you, and it's those people who become the great ones in life. But you got to be willing to work together, right? Why do we have the 8 core commitments? We tell you actually in the master's course. If you don't have the master's course, you need it, right? Now here's the truth, guys. Here's the truth, right? Here's the truth. We can do greater things by sticking together. We could ever do it ourselves, number one. Number two, Empower Network is here to stay, and we've proven that now. Now all the banks are coming back at us saying, please let us process your transactions, because we have so little problems compared to everything else they do that's even remotely related to our industry, right? Compared to huge network marketing businesses that actually have physical problems. We have physical products, we have no problems, right? So now we're proven. Our model's proven to work now. We've created duplication and success now. We've created freedom without phone calls now, right? We have real leadership now that are here around, and now they realize we're here to stay. We actually have employees now, right? We got a COO now. We're bringing in a CTO, right? We've got now programming resources to do what we want to do. We've got the mastermind to do what we want to do. We've got money now to do what we want to do. We started this. We weren't making this money that we're all making now. We've got talent now that we didn't have before. We've got vision now that we didn't have before. We've got people now that we didn't have before. We've got an event structure now that's been proven to work, that's totally different from anything you ever been to. And if you ain't been to an Empower Net, you ain't been to a badass event. I'm just telling, especially you ain't been to an event with the word badass in the name of the event, such as Release Your Inner Badass in Austin, Texas. And you know what, folks? Now we've got you, don't we? Now it's just a matter of whether you're all in and focused and you got a dream. And there will be people that come and go. There will be people that say, I'm just like Empower Network, but better. You want to know why we don't say just like Amway, but better? Because we ain't. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the funniest thing ever when people say, I'm just like this, but better. There's been at least 2 companies that have launched entirely off the premise of this last year that were just like Empower, but better. And they're all pigeon-sized, with no big earners, with no real leaders. Because they're saying, me too, me too, me too. And people who criticize us try to copy us later. But the thing is, here's the thing that you can't copy. You can't copy the heart. And everybody that I know, without exception, who's started a company doing what we're doing, has a heart that is focused on how can I, myself, make more money with my corporate guy friend. And Lawrence, you know, we ain't never got in a room with the leaders and said nothing like that. In fact, you know, we come here, right? We come here and I say, you know, we'll go out there and do what you do. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different. Guys, so the vision is to take you with us. Now, how are we going to do it? First, you got to get all in. You got to buy everything. You got to buy everything. Just get in and buy everything, right? Buy everything, get all in Empower Network. Get all in, follow the 8 core steps. Those are not a one-time thing. It's a daily thing. It'd take you less than an hour a day if you're really focused. You could also do it in 2 hours a day if you're a little less focused. If you're really not focused, it might take you all day, but get them all done and get better at them. Those 8 steps will make you a master of this in a year. Get all in, follow the 8 core steps. Be in Austin, Texas, right? Now, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to get to the next level next year by helping 30 of you make $1 million. Now, what's this mean? Well, million can be broken down into monthly, and that could be broken into daily, right? What's $1 million in a year daily, Lawrence?
I don't know. 1 million divided by 365. I don't know, whatever that is.
Let's break it down to simple. What's a million? What's a million a year if you broke it down monthly? You break it into 12. It's a little over 8. It's like 85,000 or something a month.
Yeah.
Which conveniently broken down is about 3,000 a day, right?
3 G's a day.
3 G's a day. So how can we help people make a million a year? Average 3,000 a day.
Yeah.
So if you guys make 3,000 a day and you just focus on that, right? That, isn't it convenient how that works out to a million a year? Now, in most things that's hard. Because you got to have 1 million people in your team, don't you? And then you have a $3,000 one day and a $2 day the next day.
Yeah.
And in Power Network, though, isn't it convenient that we just happen to have a product that you can earn $3,000 commissions from?
Yeah.
Isn't that a convenient part of the million formula? So how are we going to do it? Here's the truth, okay? Right now we sell 8 to 10, 15 sometimes master's courses in a day. And here's what I've noticed. I've noticed a day turns into a month for income. I've noticed that it's very consistent, not perfectly consistent, but very consistent. If we have around 50 people who earn about $250 a day, and that's repeated for 3 days straight, that month we'll have about 50 people make over $8,000. Pretty consistent. Okay, I've also noticed there's a slightly lower percentage of people who do that consistently as do it, and so what will happen is you'll have people fluctuate up to 60, it fluctuate to 40, average at 50. 50 people will average out to 8,000 in a month. It's funny how that works, how the daily turns into the monthly, and we have a daily income model in Power Network. So let's talk about the master's course. How can we get 30? I'm going to tell you the simple formula, guys, and this is so easy, it's unbelievable. And when you guys hear this, you're actually going to believe we're going to do it, and that's just a matter of whether you're part of it or not. So let's say we sell 6 to 15, it varies, master's course. We haven't really focused on it a day. Let's say we sell 6 to 15 of those a day. So how many do we need to sell in order to have 30 people make $1 million in 2013? Pretty simple. That course needs to sell, pretty simple, 35 to 45 of them a day will produce 30 people who make $1 million in 2013. Which means we need to be approximately 5 times as successful as we are now at selling it. Which is actually pretty easy to do when you focus on that. So if we can help 35 to 45 people first change their life by buying that a day, and somebody then change their life by selling one a day, and we do that every day, and we do that in 2013, we will have 30 people make an average of $1 million, and if not close, and maybe even more, because we're not even including the commissions from the other stuff. True. Which happen to stack, don't they?
Yep.
Don't they, Lawrence? I mean, don't you make a couple $100,000 from this and a couple $100,000 from that? They stack. So now we've got a formula to get 30 people to $1 million. Now, what happens when 30 get to $1 million? Well, first we focus on daily, not monthly, because Tony Rush pointed out something amazing, right, in a bonus training we did. And I'll just break this down now, and he tells you a little bit more detail on how to do it in the bonus, if you get all in, is this. Right? What's your 3-month plan? It's your monthly plan repeated 3 times. What's your monthly plan? It's your weekly plan repeated 4 times.
Yeah.
What's your weekly plan? It's your daily plan repeated 7 times. So what's your daily plan? It's your income goal broken down to a daily basis. So if you want to make $1 million in 2013, what's your goal? Today, it's 11:37. You got 23 minutes left to make $3,000. Now, it might start with you making a decision to get all in and making the decision you want to lead people through, because if you make the decision, you can lead people through the decision. Right? Isn't that fascinating how I just broke down a formula to do it? Now, how else are we going to do it? By supporting it with culture, by supporting it with infrastructure, by supporting it with innovation that you won't even believe, by supporting it with a mastermind of people that are more talented than me, because I don't know everything. I'm good at a few things, but I don't know everything. So how are we going to do it? We're going to do it with you making a decision to eliminate distractions and focus with us, because we are more powerful together than we are on our own. Because we, not I, not Lawrence, we together are in Power Network, unified, with one voice, with one vision to go out there and change the world. Because here's the truth. If my vision was about me, you wouldn't even be here on this webinar. Spend 3.5 damned hours. Lawrence said I got to go in 40 minutes, but it's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
You know, I just told you a plan where we can create 30 millionaires just in 1 year. We're not talking making $1 million in a lifetime. We're talking a year, and I laid it out in like 5 minutes, right? And we're going to have event structure to support it, and culture infrastructure to support it, and training calls to support it, and merchants to support it, and CEOs to support it, and all our new members will be called all over the world, and we'll keep getting better, and we'll keep improving, and we'll keep speaking the same unified message with the same unified voice, with the same structure, because it's based on stuff that's proven to work for a long, long time. And isn't it funny how our leaders are still here? You ever seen somebody keep leaders around like this, honestly?
Hard. It is hard.
Yeah, because they get distracted, because they can't make the money that they want, because there ain't nothing there, right? There's nothing there but hollow hearts. But this is something different. And it's different because you're important watching this webinar. If you're watching this webinar, I don't care where you are in the world, make a decision. First of all, if you ain't in, get in. If you ain't in, get in. Now, hold on just a second. I'm going to go to this live stream here. We probably got a zillion comments on this. Holy crap, we got like a zillion comments. Get all in. Right, get all in, and half these comments aren't even showing up yet because I haven't been on the screen and this thing like freezes the comments. But folks, first of all, I'm going to give you some instructions here that are actually pretty simple. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, I actually got to stop this script. Hopefully it doesn't stop the Google Hangout. Right? Okay, pretty simple instructions I'm going to give you guys. First of all, get in by hitting the button and getting in. Pretty simple. Second of all, buy all the products. Also pretty simple. It involves hitting a series of buy buttons that happen sequentially after you get in. Okay? How much is getting everything? It's $5,125 to get everything. You also need to activate your affiliate account, $19.95 a month. That happily pays for the infrastructure of our company. Okay? So first, get in. Second, get all in. Third, follow the 8 core steps. Where do you find those? In the Fast Start training. Okay, and they involve the other products we have because they're sequential. We don't have random products we're selling. They're sequential, and they teach you different skill sets because they have different things and concepts and principles and strategies and theories that are important to drive them. Not every one of our products is a tactical product. Why? Because tactics change all the time, don't they, Lawrence?
They do.
Right?
They do.
And that is not the highest paid stuff online. Right? I made some money doing SEO in the beginning, and then I stopped doing it because I started having money, and I kept making money amazingly when I stopped doing it. Right? So tactics are not everything. SEO, is it important? It's very important. Is it a tactic? Yes, it's a tactic. Does it change? It changes constantly because Google is the checks and balances against all SEO people out there who think it'll never change. SEO will always be there, always want to optimize for search, and it'll always change. It'll always be tactical. Right? Tactics are there and they go, right? So not all our products are tactic products because it's the mindset, the concepts, the principles that drive the tactics that'll make you the most money, and that's the stuff nobody teaches because they don't know. You need everything. All of our products fit into a puzzle, and you need every piece of the puzzle, okay? We say, Dave, if you care about people so much, why don't you give it for free? Because I care about them. And if you care about people, you help them do what's going to help them get what they want, not what your idea of what they want is.
Yeah.
And my idea of what they want is if you're here because you need a better life for your family, maybe you need more money, but that always involves more money. And if I give you everything for free, I'm not teaching you how to get money, and you're not going to take it seriously, and you're not going to focus on it if you get it for free, and therefore I will not be helping you accomplish your goals like the lady who teaches everything on blogging in the universe and how to make money for blogging for free and make $638 a month, and I'll help you be like her if I give you everything for free. Yeah. And you don't want to be like her, do you? Be real. No, I don't want to be like her. Right? I saw that and I just stopped listening to everything she says. I said, I can't listen to this lady. Right? I told her that and she didn't like that. Right? But I'm going to be honest. I want to be like you if that's what you're doing. So guys, we have everything here and it fits into a puzzle, and you need every piece of the puzzle, so you need to get all in. And plus, if you make the decision, you can walk other people through the decision. That's how you make So how do you make $3,000 a day? Well, in it, just a simple factor of following the 8 core steps and making a sale of the master's course once a day.
Yep.
Lawrence, can you sell something that's, if you focus on it, I'm just saying if you focus on it for an hour or two a day, I'm not saying focus the whole day, can you make $3,000 a day here at Empower?
Yeah.
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just sell some products, and then every other commission is extra, and you might make more than $3,000 a day. So you focus on the message of $3,000 a day. How do you get 2 people a day? You focus on it. How come focusing on it is so important? Let's talk about that for a sec. Okay, we're going to wind out this conference in a few minutes. Right? I have actually no idea how many people are still on this thing. Amazingly, you guys are still here. But here's the thing. Let's talk about how to do this here for a second. Let's talk about why focus is so important. Here's why focus is important. I was talking earlier about confusion and breakthroughs, right? Confusion and breakthroughs. And you can actually walk somebody through a structured breakthrough if you actually understand breakthroughs. One of my brothers is a hypnotist. He's brilliant at that, right? There's ways of walking people through a structured breakthrough. Let's talk about breakthroughs here for a second, about real breakthroughs. Right? First of all, you got to be frustrated and confused before you ever have a breakthrough. You can't have this without this, right? Right? It's like one of those things. It's like, well, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And the fact is you need both to have a chicken. So let's just not ask dumb questions, right? Because it's something that you can never answer, right? You need the confusion to have breakthroughs. If you've ever been confused in your life, be glad and thankful. You need depression sometimes to feel happy. Sometimes when you sink in depression, it's because you need to change something. You need to ask a different question so you can then have a breakthrough and get out, right? You need this to have this, right? You need it, right? So it's okay if you're confused sometimes. You need frustration sometimes to have victory. It's okay. Just realize it's temporary if you keep moving ahead, and it's permanent if you don't, right? So why is focus important? It's because whatever your mind focuses on, your mind is an organizing mechanism that tosses everything aside but what you focus on, right? If you're listening to the sound of my voice and the words that I speak, you're simultaneously not paying attention to your heartbeat or the feeling at the bottom of your feet. But isn't it fascinating how when I just mentioned those two things, you notice them? You're also not paying attention to your breathing, but didn't you just do it when I mentioned it? You're also not paying attention to the bat on my shirt, but then didn't you just see it when I mentioned it? And isn't it fascinating how everything I talk about you pay attention to when I'm talking about it? Why? Because you're focused on it. Because you focus, your mind is an organizing mechanism that's in a very chaotic world. Its sole purpose is to organize and create pattern recognition in the chaos. So what happens if you're focused on something you don't want?
Oh.
You organize patterns to create it. What happens if you focus on what you want? You organize patterns to create it. So what happens if you focus on 2 a day? You organize patterns to create it. What happens if you focus on $3,000 a day? You stop organizing patterns for 100 a day and start organizing patterns for 3,000 a day. So what you need to do is focus on it. How? Get all in, follow the 8 core steps, focus on 2 a day, and focus on 2 a day and 3,000 a day, and follow that formula, and the tactics and strategies will organize themselves around your intention over time if you stay persistent and break your head through every brick wall that stands in your way, because that's what leaders do. They don't pull a Flanagan, they break their head through brick walls. Lawrence, you ran into some brick walls? You didn't pull Flanagan on us, did you?
No.
Now, if there's somebody with the last name Flanagan who's cool on here, I do apologize. I actually should clarify. I've met some Flanagans who are actually pretty cool. So there's some people out there. I'm going to stop insulting that. We won't call it a Flanagan because it is just that one dork bag, right? Let's be fair, right? So we'll stop using that term and just say you didn't quit, right? You kept going. What? And now your mind is organized on a bigger vision and a bigger purpose. And when you're organized around that and you've got a structure to create it, magic happens, and all of a sudden you're lucky all the time. You know, people say, Dave, yeah, you're magic. I start putting Magic Man under my emails because it's like my life is magical all the time. It's amazing. Now, isn't it funny how it's magical all the time? Why? Because I'm focused on magic.
Yeah.
I'm talking about some voodoo and like moving stuff with my mind. Now, I actually, when I was a kid, I used to sit there and wonder if I'd do it and sit there for hours staring at stuff trying to make it float around with my mind. And funny enough, it never happened except for when I thought it was happening and then woke up and said, damn it. Right? But I'm talking about the structure of real magic in your life, which is what? It's your mind pulling together disorganized information to create specifically, exactly, and only what you want, nothing more, nothing less, because it's an organizing method that's there from biology, it's there from evolution, creation, whatever you want to call it, to give you exactly what you focus on. It's because its only sole purpose and design is to give you what you want, to discard what you don't. So focus on that, and you'll get it. Won't you?
Mm-hmm.
If you get all in, follow the 8 core steps, focus on 2 a day, focus on 3,000 a day. All we need is 30 of you, and we got 30 millionaires in 2013. Could we do more? Oh, yeah. And get your butt to Austin, because you ain't going to get there. I'm telling you, you will not make $1 million with Empower Network, period, in 2013, unless you're in Austin.
Yeah.
Now, maybe somebody will get in our next event, and they'll go to that one, and they'll do it in a few months, but you ain't going to do it if you're on here, because if you don't go to this next event, you're missing it big. And the ticket prices are going up, so you might as well act now, because part of being all in and following the 8 steps, one of the 8 steps, it's funny enough, is going to all the events. Now let's talk about the 8 steps here and talk about them for a second. Why are they there? They're there because that's all I've done for all the time I've been in this, that's worked consistently, that's not changed, that still works, that still produces the results that I want, years after learning them, that are always consistent and never change. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them because they're part of the Fast Start training you can go through, but let's talk about a few of them. and what they are. First core step is get all in. Now, we say activate the affiliate account, but really the step is get all in. You're not core if you ain't all in, period. Okay? You ain't core if you're on. Why? Because you got to be all in to get the results that you want, because you are focusing on negative if you're not all in, or you're working on getting all in, so you're still core because you're working on it, you're trying to figure out how to do it. Right? What's a guy who really wants to go to college do who doesn't have the money? They figure out how to do it. Right?
Yep.
So you're all in or you ain't. All in is an emotional, it's a financial, it's both, it's being committed. Because if you ain't committed, you ain't going to be a leader. Nobody's going to listen to you because they know you're not committed because you ain't all in. So step 1 is getting all in. Step 2 is blog daily. Why? It's the only marketing strategy that, although it's evolved, has consistently worked since the internet has been around. Why? Because it's value-based information creation, which is what drives the infrastructure of the internet.
Yeah.
Okay? Why do we talk about, what's the next step? We talk about market daily. Why do we talk about market daily? Why do we talk about market daily? Okay?
You got to get people.
You got to get people. Right? If you don't market, your business becomes harder to sustain over time. Right? Now you have 2 choices. You can put more work in, or you can be smarter with your marketing, or both. Right? I choose be smarter.
Yeah.
So we teach you to market daily. Why aren't we more specific with that step? We're more specific with that step because the marketing tactics change. If I say do solo ads once a day, well, maybe that won't work in 5 years. Right? So we say market daily, and to reinvest back into marketing 20% of your profits is the step. Why? Because that's what smart people do. Lawrence does it. I do it. We all do it who are smart and keep growing. You'll keep growing if you keep doing it. Right? Well, I'm going to talk about 2 more steps here for a second. Why do we tell you to listen to audios every day? Lawrence, you listen to audios every day, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it funny how all the leaders are always talking about that? Why? Because it's downtime education, because everybody's got downtime through the day. Why do we talk about reading all the day, all the time? It's because everybody I know who makes a lot of money and holds it together for a long time reads a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do we talk about going on the conference calls? Because it gives us something to keep together every week, and we need it. Why churches go to church once a week? It's why a lot of companies do weekly meetings. We don't do weekly meetings because it gets burdensome, but everybody can walk through the forest or do what they want on Monday while they're doing their downtime listening to an audio with an earplug plugged in there. Everybody can do it, and I don't want to hear excuses about why you can't do it. If you say you can't do it, it's because you're not focused on it. Why do we talk about going to the events? We talk about going to the events because if you don't go, your team won't go, and if they don't go, you won't hold your income together, and you'll be constantly running around rebuilding your team all the time, which is what everybody who doesn't have their team going to events does, because the events hold your team together. People need to see you.
Yeah.
That's why. There's a logic and a structure behind everything, and they're all important equally. And I left one of them out, maybe 2 of them, and you'll have to go through the Fast Start training to figure out which one. They're all important. Why is getting all in important? Because it's the background psychology to success. Get all in now. Do it. Get to Austin. I'll see you on the beaches of the world. And I get pumped for what's happening in Austin. Get pumped for getting all in. Get pumped for making a decision to be a part of the family and the team. Get pumped for being part of a group with a vision. Get pumped being around some people who are there to help you succeed, who are there to put their arm around you and lift you up and treat you right. Get pumped to be a part of the Empower Network that's there to empower the people. Get pumped to have a dream and a vision, to be a part of people that have a dream and a vision that's big enough not just for themselves but for you. Get pumped because you're around people who speak their vision into existence from nothing, because that's what leaders do. And get pumped because you have everything you need inside of you right now to succeed, because Empower Network will fill in the gaps. Get pumped because we realize that we are not gods and we don't know everything. Get pumped because when you get to the top here, it's just as good as we say it is, and I think better. And get pumped because it's just getting better, my friends. It's easier today than what it was when we started. It's more consistent today than when we started. The income is faster today than when we started. We have more success stories today than when we started. We have more victory today than when we started. We got a bigger vision and a dream today than when we started. And it's just getting freaking better. And it's best if we stay unified. So get all in. Eliminate distractions. Stay focused on this. Okay? And we will help you. We will help you get there. I am in Power Network. You are in Power Network. I'll see you on the beaches of the world. Lawrence, any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
Hey, be a participant in your own success story. You got to do it.
You got to do it, folks. Let's make it happen. Let's rock it. See you guys on the beaches of the world. Bye-bye.